Now, India is, of course, known as the pharmacy of the world. The country has been a world leader in supplying affordable vaccines in the past. And now, this is a trend that India will, of course, continue, even in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced that India is now ready to supply vaccines to the rest of the world. These are vaccines that he said people will get for COVID-19 that will be made in India. Listen in to what the Indian Prime Minister had to say.
दुनिया की फार्मेसी होने के नाते दुनिया के हर जरूरतमंद तक जरूरी दवाएं पहुंचाने का काम भारत ने पहले भी किया है और आज भी कर रहा है। दुनिया आज सिर्फ भारत की वैक्सीन का इंतजार ही नहीं कर रही, बल्कि दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा वैक्सीनेशन प्रोग्राम भारत कैसे चलाता है, इस पर भी नजरें हैं।
The neighboring nations have reached out to India for vaccines. The country has also upheld its neighborhood first policy. Nepal and Bhutan have both requested about 12 million and about 10 million doses respectively. Bangladesh has signed a contract with India in November for about 30 million doses of Covishield. This, of course, is the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine that, although developed in the United Kingdom, researched and developed there, will be manufactured in India by India's Serum Institute. It was given the green signal by the country's drug regulator for emergency use. Now, even in the case of Sri Lanka, India agreed to give Sri Lanka priority when supplying the COVID-19 vaccine. The country's external affairs minister had conveyed this to the island nation during the recent visit. Now, as for the other island nations of Maldives, India is communicating with the country on the need for vaccines. India has also promised its help for Afghanistan in a telephonic conversation with the Foreign Minister, Mohammad Hanif Atmar. India has pledged to support Afghanistan's COVID-19 immunization program. All right, now to give us more insights on this story, we are joined in by WION's Siddhant Sibil, who's joining us live on this broadcast. Good morning to you, Siddhant. What's the latest that we have in terms of what the Prime Minister has already spoken out, saying that India has been a sort of a vaccine manufacturing factory of the world, and even in the fight against COVID-19, India will be front and center in the production of vaccines that will be given to many countries in the neighborhood?
Well, Mohammed, next week will be a very important week because next week India starts its mega immunization program. But also, once India starts its immunization program, it will be also focusing on its neighborhood first policy and also beyond when it comes to providing COVID vaccine. We know, as you just pointed out, countries in the neighborhood who have requested for COVID vaccine, but now there are confirmation beyond this as well. In fact, sources have confirmed to WION that Mongolia is the latest addition to the entire list when it comes to the request for the COVID vaccine. Also, we know that the Brazilian president has written to the Prime Minister. That, of course, has been a major headline since yesterday here in India. But largely, we know that last year, India reached out to 150 when it comes to providing HCQ, a medicine that is used in fighting the COVID pandemic, and the HCQ formula will be used again this time around as well. The big focus, of course, will be the cold chain storage system and supply, how India is going to reach out to these countries. But by and large, as the Indian Prime Minister said last year at the United Nations General Assembly, that India's vaccine will be not only for India, but for the entire humanity. And that is a commitment that India has multiple times assured the world. In fact, just last week, the spokesperson of the Indian Ministry of External Affairs said that India considers its duty when it comes to the international cooperation related to the COVID pandemic crisis. And for that, we know how the Indian Foreign Secretary, the Indian External Affairs Minister, and other top-level officials have been speaking to their counterparts across the region. In fact, one of the first visits the Indian Foreign Secretary made last year amidst the COVID pandemic was to Bangladesh, and at that time he not only gave the medicine when it comes to fighting the COVID pandemic. But also he assured at the highest level that the vaccine will be given. In fact, Myanmar has had a contract with the country with the companies here in India, and we do expect the supply to start perhaps in next 1 or 2 months.
Indeed, thank you very much indeed, Siddhant Sibil, for joining us and getting us all those updates there.
Co-presented by Skoda. Simply clever.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.